Hi Pathlings, my name's Kim, aka Christo-Pagan Kim, and I am your Thursday host. Well, today what we're going to talk about is Ostara, Easter, and the spring/vernal equinox. Are they the same? Well, first I'm going to give an overview of each, and then I'm going to offer a little bit of commentary. I'm also going to list some links below so you can do your own research, source chase, all that good stuff. So let's get to it, shall we? So first, let's talk about Ostara. Ostara is a celebration of the vernal, aka spring equinox. It's part of the wheel of the year in neo-pagan traditions, particularly Wicca. Ostara is actually named after a Germanic goddess of the same name. However, her existence is debated among scholars. It seems that the first known reference to this goddess was from a monk named Bede, who was around in the late 7th and early 8th centuries. However, there are similar goddesses. Rabbits' eggs have been associated with fertility and rebirth in ancient times, so there is historical basis for the overall concept. Now, it could be that Ostara existed in oral traditions only prior to that time, so as I said, it's all up for debate. So at this time, there's no definitive proof as to how far back she existed. So Easter, we're pretty familiar with this, is the Christian celebration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Now I'm going to read a little blurb from you off of Wikipedia. The Christian churches calculate Easter as the first Sunday after the first full moon on or after the March equinox. The official church definition for the equinox is March 21st. The Eastern Orthodox churches use the older Julian calendar, while the Western churches use the Gregorian calendar, and the Western full moons currently fall 4, 5, or 34 days before the Eastern ones. The result is that 2 Easters generally fall on different days, but they sometimes coincide. The earliest possible date in any year for Easter is March 22nd on each calendar. The latest possible date is April 25th. Easter is also linked to the Old Testament Passover, and Jesus is actually referred to as a lamb in the New Testament. As some of you guys know, I actually went to seminary, and something my Old Testament professor said was, when the lamb's blood was spread across the door frames, the blood was on the vertical and horizontal, similar to the cross, where Jesus' blood was the vertical and horizontal as well. So just kind of an interesting little tie back there as well. Now let's talk about the spring equinox. The spring equinox occurs when the sun appears to leave the southern hemisphere and cross the celestial equator, heading northward as seen from Earth. It's also International Astrology Day for all you astrologers out there. It's the astrological new year. It's the beginning of the sign of Aries, the first sign in the zodiac. So again, that was just an overview. I'm going to include links below so you can do some continued research, source chase, all that good stuff. Now on to commentary. Well, we know that the church borrowed a lot of pagan folk traditions and incorporated them into the church. So this is kind of an example of that. Now, as far as Ostara, there were many pagan celebrations of the spring equinox across cultures. So that's not limited to just Germanic tribes or anything of the day. And as I also mentioned, there were associations across cultures with rabbits and eggs and such. So that was not unique to just the Germanic areas. And also in regards to Easter, if you believe in a literal Christ, then a lot of these dates were lost to antiquity. So the church really tried to find complementary dates to celebrate the holidays. So with all that said, these holidays were birthed from celebrating the spring equinox. Going back to the question I posed in the very beginning, are Easter, Ostara, and the spring equinox the same? Well, on a surface level, they're not. The spring equinox is a natural phenomenon. It is not religious per se. Ostara is part of neo-pagan traditions. And of course, Easter is a Christian holiday that doesn't necessarily hit on the spring equinox. However, if you dig a little deeper, Easter and Ostara are both birthed from the spring equinox, and they both celebrate this rebirth and renewal, however, in different ways. So, with all that said, my answer to the original question is, depends on how you look at it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to comment below. As always, feel free to subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And happy Ostara or Easter, depending on what you celebrate. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.